What it do, Durag Nation? Gambit is officially the Horseman of Death in this new trailer. NetEase looked at Devil Dinosaur, a 40-foot tall red T-Rex, and said, what if he was Jeff? And it's somehow not the strangest thing that happened this week, because we got an insane new reveal for next month's new hero, the Hood, that fans are losing their minds over. Hawkeye's new skin has turned into a meme, and Marvel Rivals dropped an emergency balance patch that has half the player base ready to riot. Also, one of this week's costumes is free. 6 new costumes, a hero reveal, and an emergency patch, all in about 48 hours. Let's get it. Starting with the one you're all secretly here for, Devil Dinosaur. NetEase took the actual Jeff design, the most beloved thing in this entire game, besides Emma and Sue when they turn around, and stretched it over a Tyrannosaurus. And you know what? It works. The official description called it unforgettably cute, which is correct. Never taking it off. We also have a brand new event. Janet Van Dyne, the original Wasp, is designing high fashion looks for some other roster, which is actually comic book accurate, and you can find her store on the Times Square map. This week she dressed up 4 of the heroes, with 3 of them being on a mini pass. First up is Sue Storm getting her 100th legendary skin.
Let's heat it up. Clear the way. Disappear.
The trailer shows her throwing up the force field and firing her ultimate in it, and the sheer material actually reacts, which is pretty cool. She's also got 2 unlockable color variants, pink and white and black and white. Next is Adam Warlock rocking a geometric silver armor jacket. Pretty weird to see Adam Warlock trying to mog as a high fashion icon.
Born again!
I probably won't be using this one. His other costumes have way more aura. Finally is Magneto, the master of magnetism, dressed like a meditation instructor in California. Nobody is doing it like Marvel Rivals, that's for sure. He's even got a new emote that has him doing a yoga pose. If mutants weren't being hunted and the universe weren't collapsing, I could see Magneto wearing this during retirement. This costume is called Magnetic Vintage, and you can earn it for free on the mini pass. This and the Adam Warlock costume are epic rarity, and the event goes live July 16th. At the same time as this event is a series of mysteries about the death of Apocalypse and 3 mutants who were taken out while investigating. Solve the clues, play the game, and get units, chrono tokens, and gallery cards. If for whatever reason you haven't gotten them yet, here are the answers to the first 2, which investigate the deaths of Wolverine and Psylocke. The third one is investigating the death of Gambit, which lines up perfectly with the release of his Horseman of Death costume this week that Rivals is calling Dead Man's Hand. Gambit has served as the Horseman for Apocalypse in the comics, and in Rivals lore gets turned into the Horseman of Death when Jubilee brings him back to life with a death seed she stole from her former boss. We have more Gambit news to get to later, but that part won't be nearly as fun and will definitely make some people mad. The final costume joining Gambit in the shop this week is Hawkeye's Bed-Stuy's Best. According to Clint, the punks on the block took one look at my fit, then went home to change in shame, which is a sentence a human being wrote and then a second human being approved. He should have said, hi, my name is, instead, because they clearly just made him Eminem. I don't know what Wasp was cooking with this one, but Slim Shady Couture ain't it. Jeff the Dinosaur, Horseman of Death Gambit, and Clint Mathers will be in the shop Thursday night at 10 p.m. Eastern. Also, if you're enjoying this, smash that like button for me so YouTube actually shows this to people. Now we have to talk about the next hero coming to the roster, the Hood. He appeared in the Season 9 trailer, and people have already been abusing his team-ups in the new update, but not much was known about him until now. I don't know where we got the reveal of who actually voices him. It's Damian Priest, the WWE World Champion, which he confirmed himself by retweeting the trailer with the message, no one beats the Hood. I haven't been tapped into wrestling since I was a kid, but for what I've seen, this was the perfect choice once again, and Rivals might legit have the best voice cast of any video game in history. The Hood arrives in early August, with many fans hoping he's a Vanguard, since the dual pistols, invisibility, and demonic transformation he's known for in the comics would make him a very fun and powerful character to add to the roster. Plus, he'll benefit from the new team-up system added in the Season 9 patch and be even more OP, and we don't want that kind of power in the hands of insta-lock duelists. Speaking of the new patch, people are really mad about it. Not the first one. That was a huge hit with the players and made Season 9 one of the most popular seasons in the game's history, with the highest peak player count on Steam since Deadpool launched, despite the first hero arriving being Jubilee, who's obviously not nearly as popular. But 24 hours after the launch, an emergency patch was sent out and people were big mad, with some saying they ruined a near perfect update. I wouldn't go that far, but they are for sure never beating the allegations that they overly catered to lower ranked support players after they buffed Gambit, the most broken hero they've ever released, who was still getting banned a lot in competitive before the emergency balance patch. They also buffed Invisible Woman, the second most overpowered support they've ever released, as well as Cyclops and Phoenix, two of the most broken duelists they've ever released, while nerfing Psylocke into the ground despite her actually taking skill to play, unlike Cyclops. They also partially reversed the alt charge nerf just for supports so they can get their ultimates faster, because many complained they couldn't keep up with all the new damage. And while I agree the amount of damage was out of control, especially the Black Panther bug that they thankfully fixed so he can no longer do 1000 damage with a single dash, I think the solution would have been to just lower the damage numbers across the board for the strongest DPS characters, not Iron Man, who has been a low tier hero since they originally removed the Gambit team up, yet they nerfed him still. All the changes weren't bad, but if the Season 9 patch was a 9 or a 10 out of 10, this one I think is a 4 or 5 at most. Since matchmaking and throwers also weren't addressed either, the competitive mode is actually worse than it's ever been, despite the gameplay itself actually being really fun because of the team ups. But overall, I'd say Season 9 is a win for Marvel Rivals, especially with the rest of the content releasing over the next 30 days. And what they have planned for the end of this month might end up being even more popular than the team up changes. I broke it all down already, so click the video on screen to learn more. And if you're on TV, check the roadmap video in the Marvel Rivals playlist on my channel's front page. And a huge shout out to everyone supporting me on Patreon. Join for free so you never miss an update.